Frosty, 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 Frosty.
Hey guys, so another week of Frosty vlogs. Gonna try to keep this one short, and I mean it this time. So I'm getting better. It's been about a week and a day of this cold now. My voice sounds better. Honestly, it's mostly just my sinuses at this point, which is not the worst, but it means that I'm still coughing at times. I wanted to record this one because I already had one ready, but I decided that I had a better message for you this week. So I just finished The Office. I just finished the 9th season last night, and I really liked the ending. The first several seasons could not really get into them, but I kept pushing because everyone told me that the show gets better. I figured they meant that it would get better where I was disliking it, because where I really found that I enjoyed the show was right after Michael Scott left, which, according to a friend of mine and the only person I've talked to about this, makes me the only person who thinks that the last 2 seasons were the best part of the show. And I understand why people would like Michael. He is funny, and it's fun to laugh at him. But my problem is he's too well done. And what I mean by that is the character, and I talked to my dad about this, and he's, sort of helped me focus the anger here. The character is a representation of a boss who has no reason to be in charge, and you can only wonder how. How do they get this job? How do they keep this job? What is going on? And the show does a really good job of keeping that mystery alive, because there's never a reason given why he was hired. He just has the job. And anytime he should lose the job, he miraculously keeps the job. And he's so dumb. But he's not just dumb. He's innocent and dumb. And that bothers me, because then he makes these really terrible choices and mistakes, things that regular people would get in so much trouble for, and he gets to walk away from it because he's innocent and he doesn't realize that he's doing something wrong. And that irks me to hell. And I feel like a lot of people would hear this sort of criticism and think, oh, well, you don't like Steve Carell. That's a damn lie. I love Steve Carell. He's in one of probably my favorite movies ever, The Way Back. I've seen it 20 times, and it came out 2 or 3 years ago. So, and if you think I'm over-exaggerating, I'm not. Ask my friends. I kept count. I had them watch it all once, and I watched it with them, and then I've watched it multiple times with some friends, because other people also enjoyed enough to watch it more than once within the same year. It's a good-ass movie. If you haven't seen it, see it. So it's not the actor's fault. In fact, he's doing such a great job at portraying Michael Scott. His devotion made me believe that there was a Michael Scott, and that this guy was just the worst ever, right? And that's kind of how it went with everybody. All of them did such a good job for 9 seasons. That's insane. That's years. That's a decade of their life they gave to this performance, and I bought into it. And the only downside is it's hard to imagine most of them continuing to do other projects outside of it, Good for them for telling a great story, though, because it wrapped up very well, as far as I'm concerned. The only issue I really take with it in the end was that Dwight and Angela, and I hope people don't mind I'm talking about this, Netflix says that it ended 4 or 5 years ago, so at this point I feel like anything's fair game. If you don't, I'm going to put Office probably in the title and write spoilers in the description, so not my fault if you hear something you don't like. What I was trying to say is that Dwight should have ended up with Pam's maid of honor or bridesmaid friend. I'm not sure what her position was, and I have no idea what her name was. She's the one that Dwight slept with at the wedding, because he really seemed into her. And he was totally passing on Angela for her. Absolutely passing. And Angela stopped wanting to be with Dwight because Angela found the senator. So both of them were happy, except Dwight's love interest disappeared. Just completely and totally, just gone. And they never really explained that. And that kind of bothers me a little bit. And I don't know if they did it because they forgot or because they just didn't want to. It's the sort of problem with the Saiyans in Dragon Ball Z, how they lose their tails and then suddenly there's no more tails ever again. What I really want to take away from it, and that I think that I should talk to you guys about, is I haven't really known what I was doing here. And in the technical sense, it's obvious. You can even see from the first to this 15th week now. The quality of video and audio and my ability to hold thoughts out for longer than just cutting them, because if you can't tell, the cuts are whenever I stutter or pause or think. Sometimes when I breathe, to be fair. I cut out my deep, long breaths because I figure most people don't want to hear some dude breathing. Well, The Office has kind of given me a point to build off of, you know? I'm going to be honest. You know, when I started this up, I wanted to be a YouTuber, and I want to be a YouTuber professionally. You know, I was hoping to make money off of this. And there's a part of me that still wants to. It's the main drive of the Let's Plays. Even though I've always wanted to be in the Let's Play community, because, I mean, I've just seen it explode. And there are Let's Players out there that I'm a huge fan of. And the idea of ever doing some sort of work with them would be just a dream come true. The vlogs I've never really known what to do with, because I clearly do not have the same personality on camera that I do in real life, which is just ridiculous to me, because in real life, I am crazy. I am all over the place. I get so loud and excited, and I just don't know why it doesn't come across when there's a camera on my face. But for some reason, it's not, and I'm working on that. But until I get that figured out, I'm not the vlog personality that people tell me I need to have. So how can I sell myself as that, you know? And so what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to go back to just kind of winging it. You know, if all I have to talk about is what's been going on in my life, which is generally TV or movies or games or something, that's what I'm going to talk about. And if you want to listen or watch or whatever, feel free to do so, because I'd love to share it. Honestly, I mean, I think I have some interesting opinions, and I'm willing to get more critical about them instead of just skimming the surface like I have been, all worry-warty. And I don't know, I'm hoping to, really what I'd like to see is this become, I want to go back to the living diary, which I know I'd already crapped all over with my New Year's resolution, but it was a fun thing, you know? And while it will be fun to come up with project vlogs that are specifically focused on events, not even necessarily current, but just like ideas and things that I want to talk about, I love the idea of in a year, 2 years, 5 years, looking back and seeing a catalog of things that I'd been up to. And right now I'm not up to much, you know, but that's because all of 2016 I was sick. I had no work. You know, I'm in a new house now. I'm away from all of my friends, and I don't have a driver's license, so I don't get out a lot. It's a nice mixture for not doing much of anything. This is kind of my main driving force to keep me excited and doing anything at this point. And I'd love to see where I go from here, which for me is like my season 1 of The Office. My where's it gonna go? What is this? Who are these people? And see it just explode into that season 9. All kinds of people and friends and families, and I'm really excited to see where the future goes. And if you're somebody who wants to come along for the ride actively or every now and then, or you just stumbled across this, feel free to come along. You know, this train loves hitchhikers. Absolutely. So yeah, that's what I have to say for this week. I hope you like it. If you don't, you know, feel free to let me know, because any comments at this point, good or bad. I've had one comment, and it was a request for a follow for follow. So anything other than that would be pretty exciting at this point. Thanks everyone so much for listening in. Have a great one.